And hello again, everybody. As always, I'm Tyler, and I'm back with another episode of Shapes.io. Let's go ahead and pick up right where we left off on the last one. I'm going to go ahead and start making our white dye. So we've got red coming through here, and you know what? We actually can turn all of this around. And go over like that, and we'll start belting this on over here. There you go. And we're going to actually move this down a little bit more once we go ahead and start making our mixers, which luckily we can just copy and paste right here. There you go. And again, hopefully everyone is doing okay today. Obviously, you know, it's important to me that even if I don't know who's watching this, it's like, you're having a good day and taking care of yourself. So just remember to drink water, always important, which I honestly need to do more of myself, but I'm here to help, to be nice to other people, maybe not take my own advice all the time, but that is neither here nor there. So with that said, I am actually going to make sure that I drink some water here shortly, because like I said, I've not really been doing too much of that myself, just with everything going on. I kind of am bad about it. So it's definitely more of a do as I say, not as I do type of situation. But you know, some days I drink a lot more water than others. All just kind of depends. And you know what, actually, I think we can just remove that for right now, and we'll actually copy the key again, because we're going to start building it right here instead. Because we've got our circles here. So if I can actually belt some squares here, I can just start producing them in this row. Where are some squares? Got some here. Yeah, that'll be fine. It's actually a lot of fun. I started playing I started playing a little bit of Factorio with a friend of mine. And I've realized how much like playing this game has actually increased the amount that I can do in Factorio. There's some really cool things you can do with like efficiency in that game. That, are you familiar with like the Tetris effect, where basically when you play Tetris and then you like go to sleep, your brain just kind of puts like figures out how to put the pieces together. So it's like as your, you know, like your subconscious mind kind of just puts the effort into it, you end up seeing the pieces align better, and then next time you play, you maybe have like a better performance than you have in the past. It kind of feels like that sometimes when I'm playing these style of games, because you just, you know, you do a bunch of work and you get all sorts of stuff like figured out, and then all of a sudden you're like, ah, cool, I can actually do this quite well. And next thing you know, you're doing all sorts of like really efficient like setups and whatnot that you might not have thought about before. And that's all part of the, you know, the kind of learning process that occurs in these style of games. And that's what I think makes this type of game a lot of fun, because you can pretty much always be striving to do something else. There's always more to learn, there's always more to work on. Because even though I'm taking up a minimal amount of space with my current project, or my current factory setup, I was like, I still have a lot of potential for making it better by figuring out as I mentioned near the end of last episode, where I can split, or the max amount of splitters that I can have on a single belt before it starts not reaching the end of the production line over here. And obviously it was like, it makes a big difference. So I think I've talked about this in the past, but one of the main draws of Factorio is, actually, you know what, I wonder, but okay, so that's the only caveat with this, is that this doesn't have a mirrored variant. You know what, actually, let's see what we can do with our double painter. But as I was saying, one of the main draws of Factorio is you want to, a lot of the times what you want to do is actually have a belt, like you have your main bus, is what it's typically referred to as. And the way that it works is you belt all of your, your products onto that belt, and then you try to work out a way to split off of the main belt, and then that's how you actually put everything together. So say that I had 1, 2, 3, and say this one right here was one type of die, this right here was like a different type of shape. And so we've got just all different things in this belt, and then what you would do is you would use a splitter to draw off the main belt, and then you tunnel underneath and continue forward. And so what happens is that you're you're taking off from here, making sure that things, or you're using this to fund some sort of factory setup like this, and then you can either add a new line for the new product that's going to occur from this being pushed on, or you use whatever you're making here to go somewhere else. And then later on you might need to gain some other sort of production line to put back into this main belt, so when you're drawing off you're still getting more. You would split onto the belt the same way that you would split off of it. And so obviously it opens up a lot of interesting things that you can do. And it makes a big difference because in Factorio, the resources are limited. So you end up running into the part where you're like, oh, well, what is it? I can't, oh, you run into the part where you're trying to figure out like what's a good way to balance the belt and make sure that everything, actually works properly, instead of becoming like undersaturated or oversaturated, much in the same way that this game works. Okay, but see now if I have it set up like this, okay, just bear with me a second here, because we could go and do another splitter, and then we do that, and then we go like this, and then we can belt forward, but I don't know what good that does us, because now we're not... Okay, so this is going to take some testing to actually figure out a good way to use it, but let's go ahead and just do our normal painters for now. Because like I said, I don't think it's really worth it unless I can find a way to I can saturate 2 belts with the production. Maybe have like one main one, and then I could create another thread that comes over here, and then this is where this splits off, and then it combines back in. But I don't know. I think that would be interesting to look at here in a little bit, but right now I'm going to focus on getting this right for the way that I want it. And as normal, we'll go ahead and bring these over here. Go like that. And boom. Cool. And now that we have that, we can go and just start copying. So 1, 2. So we've got 3, 4, 5. Nope, nope. There we go. So those are making our squares. And now we can bring some circles down there, which I think I'm going to, yeah, we can just get them from right here. Because obviously I think the best bet, if I wanted to produce, you know, more shapes in less space, I can use the double painter, and then that'll help a lot with one, probably our problem with using too many splitters. Because if I set it up right, I would just be able to actually, what is it? I would be able to keep, like, have two belts saturated more easily, and then we could, you know, have half as many of the actual painters and stuff like that. So instead of it splitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, I could probably do it only splitting 4 times, but like I said, it would take a little bit of messing around with to actually figure out how that would work. Unless maybe I just... well, I'll look at that in a second. Let's go ahead and just finish up with getting our circles dyed white. And then we can combine them together with our we can get them combined with our squares, and then we'll start being able to actually produce the shape that we want. And then we'll have that start working for the next task. And I have this backwards, so go ahead and place you that. At least this is an easier fix. And now we connect you, go like that. I'm actually going to replace those with tunnels. Go ahead and at least just get these hooked up already anyways. And it's fine because if the white circles get dyed again, it's not going to do anything. It's just going to, should just push it through anyways. Oh look, and we've got our Gear 5 for that one done. Oh wait, these both work on the same shapes now? Okay, see, now I need to see if... Huh. Oh, I bet you that I can only upgrade one at a time, though? So I would need 300,000 to get both up to the next level? I swear, this game just keeps on developing new ways that I was not expecting. So go ahead and at least just get this all going on. There we go. So we've got purple squares being made, which, that's not the tunnel, that's the tunnel. We can go ahead and start moving down. And we'll go ahead and move you on over here. And I think that should be enough space. And actually we need this to be on the bottom. And then we need to bring circles on over here. And then like that, and we'll connect you up. There we go. And the same old song and dance as normal. This is where we'll combine white circle on top of the purple square. And we'll just start going. And if we want, actually, we can go ahead and get rid of the other production. And I'll do that after I build this up a little bit. So I just want to make sure that I can belt this back on over to the base before I forget, and we'll get started on producing the next shapes before we start trying to do a little bit more cleanup. And it's cool, because I know I had a couple of complaints about the performance, but with the way that this is structured, I think it's actually really well done. I think that it was a great idea to set things up the way that it's currently set up, where, you know, once you get through the tiers, it resets to a new set. So I'm thinking I'm hoping maybe that there's actually more after just this shape, and it's not just like, alright, you got here, now it just gets larger and larger every time. But I think that would go back to the question about whether or not these shapes are curated. Because obviously if they are, one person can only come up with so many shapes before, or at least if the game's balanced around those shapes, then, you know, it's set up purposely. Because like I said, the upgrade paths are the same for every single playthrough. I don't know if that's going to change in the future. I know that there's talks about a career mode, which will obviously make a difference, and I'm assuming they'll probably keep this style as a free play or sandbox mode. But yeah, like I said, I mean, I think there's a lot that can kind of go on from here. And so we'll go ahead and bring this right on in over here. Get you like that. There we go. So now we'll start belting in those shapes, and you know, we no longer need our blue pinwheel over here. I mean, we can delete everything over here, I believe. I'm just going to double check. That's white dye for the white circles. No, sorry, this is making the white circles. This is making the white dye for those circles. That's producing that shape that we no longer need. And then, yeah, so all of that can go. Those are just producing those. These are making the pinwheels, which, I mean, we could switch over to red, but we probably have enough to make it through the next upgrade path. Blue pinwheel. Yeah, so you know what? I think everything over here can actually just go. We'll delete you. No. There we go. There we go. Now that you're gone, that's good. And we're making those shapes down here. Which I can actually get rid of the cyan stuff. I might be able to get rid of a lot of what's down here too. because that's making white circles for one of the previous shapes, which can go ahead and go. It's making the cyan dye to make the white dye, so all of those can go. All of that can go. So, as normal, the most fun part of the game of going back through and deleting everything that, you know, spend a bunch of time on. Alright, so let's go ahead and slowly but surely erase these little bits. And obviously I could take the time to like repurpose things for other uses, but I think the fun kind of comes from we're going to try and use some new unlocks that we have made, so hopefully we can, you know, like actually like create some new setups based upon what we've actually unlocked over the past few upgrades. I'm pretty sure that that can go. This I still do need. And as long as we're actually still producing that shape, that's fine. But I'm pretty sure this is... yeah, so this is from the white circles that we were making up there. Or no, the blue pinwheels that we're making up there and then belting all the way down, which we no longer need. Honestly, if you ever want a sense of accomplishment, this game is really good for it, because it's just like, you know, it's just constantly building new factories and building bigger and better stuff, and then getting the chance to be like, I don't need you anymore, and, you know, just going back through, deleting all of it, so you're getting some spring cleaning done, the equivalent of that in a digital space. And yeah. So we'll go ahead and remove all of you over here. Get rid of you. All of this can go. All of you can go. And then once we start moving on to some of the other shapes, we'll actually just get to repurpose this area. And you know what? I'm not going to use this unless I repurpose stuff, so let's go ahead and delete you as well. And so all of you can go. That was coming from the blue dye. Alright, cool. So now that that's done, okay, so this over here is still building this stuff that we need, which is totally fine. And what's going on here again? We're making white dye to make white circles, which is then... Okay, yeah, so we still need this. Oh, huh. Let's go ahead and let's move that pin. We'll copy this key because everything's being assembled over here for this one, so I don't want to forget about that, because then I'm like, alright, cool, this means this all can stay, and then this all can stay as well. And since we don't need the blue pinwheel anymore, that can go. We'll go and come back over here. And something that's not hooked up, right? Oh, that would be why. We gotta switch all of these over to these tunnels. There we go. Cool. And that should kick up that production a bit. And since we're making this one here, that's all good. Okay, cool. So we've cleaned that up and we're already back down to only 2,000 buildings, which is halved from where it was earlier, so good work. Let's go ahead and see what we want to do next. Oh, that would make sense actually. Can I see what huh. I don't know why I've not looked at that, but you know what, that's probably part of the reason why things have slowed down a little bit when it comes to rotating the shapes. Especially multiple times before we actually do anything with them. But let's go up a bit, but we are kind of running a little low on purple squares. I'm not sure why. Oh, I guess we can just use more painters then. Because it's 2 and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh. More not, right? Yeah. And so it's like not 100% satisfied because the purple's not making its way enough over here, but I know that we've got plenty of purple coming through. It's just the normal issue. But obviously I guess if these are stopping up, then these will stop up and that'll be fine. I guess we can make ourselves some more circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe a little overkill, but that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Okay, so 5, 10, 15, 20, which is where our belts are at currently. So that'll stay fine, and then that should actually stay a little bit more consistent up there. We'll get there before we know it. And I think I might as well start working towards this quad painting one because I'm assuming that we'll be able to use that to paint, you know, individual corners what we want, which would not be bad for especially shapes like this. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll go ahead and clear this pin. And let's see what we can do. I need both red and white circles, which I'm actually going to attempt to learn how to use our new cutter tools. So if you remember, I unlocked the quad cutter. We'll go ahead and put that there. And now let's just see what we need to do with what. So we want top left and bottom right to be red, and then we want the opposite to be white. So we can either set up 2 rows and we can rotate these so we have all like corresponding corners, or we can set up a bunch of these and then split each one to a different place, which I might actually need to do with the system I was talking about earlier where you kind of belt things on and off. Let's see. I'm trying to think about what would be better. Because I think if we could... You know what? Yeah, we should probably just focus for 2 to want this one to be top left and bottom right, so if we rotate you that way, that'll make you a top left, I think. Yeah, and then we just need to rotate you like that to be a bottom right. And there we go. So we can take you and you to do that. You skip. I know. What we'll do is we'll then take you and... Actually, you know what? Let's try something new. Let's try, instead of separating them, so we cut here and then we put together here, why don't we alternate? So if we want this to work, we need to just do this, and then we push up, and there we go. And now we've got two options where we can keep pushing this through. We just have one dedicated cutter per stacker, which obviously I think the stacker is going to be much faster than those, but let's see. We'll go ahead and just move you one over. We'll split the circles, and yeah, I say why not just try it and see how this goes. We'll take you and go like that. Yeah, let's do just 4 of you for right now. And so now we're combining those together. And we'll go ahead and start merging that. And we take the longer tunnels and bring them back like this. And this is already the direction set up for making the red ones, which we don't mind putting on a different area, which actually, you know what? Maybe we should dye the circles red before we put it into here, and then we can do this. But let's see. We will try and figure that out. Figure out what exactly I want to do as normal, but we'll go ahead and then copy this and put you in like that. And we'll go ahead and connect this up and that up. And there we go. And then, oh wait, hold on. I actually want to rotate the other pieces instead, because I want them to be 1, 2, and then those should make it the way that we want it. And then what I'll do is I'll just place this trash can right here. Go ahead and just clear out what we have so far, and then we'll hook everything back up. And there we go. Oh. And we'll go ahead and bring you on over like that. And so now those are the ones that we're going to want to dye white. Right, and yeah, I actually think I kind of like how this is set up, because now we're only focusing on having the one, and so instead of one row being based upon how many of that we can cut and then merge and whatnot, it saves us a little bit of space and should still produce us quite a bit altogether. So in the next episode, I will go ahead and continue with making that shape and messing around with a couple other things. So like this video if you liked it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you again for watching, and subscribe if you want to see my content in the future. It really helps me out, and I will see you next time.